Hi, in this video I want to talk about why I feel it is so important for wildlife operators that are going to use an air rifle to get involved with the air rifle field target competitions. So what exactly is air rifle field competition? First and foremost, it's camaraderie. You will meet shooters of all ages and skill levels. You'll have TV hosts at times, world champions at times, and the person that's never shot an air rifle in their life. Everybody comes together, they help each other out. It is such a great learning environment that first off, if you're not taking advantage of it, you really are missing out. Secondly, it's a way to develop a skill set. Air rifle, based upon what you're shooting, and I like to shoot what's known as the Hunter class, which follows the American Air Gun Field Target Association rules, has targets that range from 10 yards out to 55 yards, with a target area of 3/8 of an inch up to 2 inches. They might be placed at ground level. These targets might be placed up high. They might be crossing over. They might be hidden behind something. You might have to shoot through something to get to the target. So what it does is it gives you a lot of real-world experience, but you're shooting a target versus an animal. And lastly, it's just fun. It's a great way to bring people into the shooting sports. It's much cheaper than shooting powder burning ammunition once you have all the necessary gear for it. Again, there are specific rules based upon the class that you're looking at, and there are quite a few competitions. Later on, we'll talk about the 2016 third annual Pyramid Air Cup that was held recently here in Ohio in September. So let me go ahead and show you what a competition actually looks like. Let's first talk about the targets used for these competitions. Now, what you saw at the start of the video, that's not one of the competition targets. That's just a resettable target, which is nice because then you don't have to run strings to pull them back up. But if you take a look, you'll notice that there are different styles of targets that can be used, and a lot of them have a adapter on them so that you can actually change the area in order to hit. So officially, the targets used are going to be silhouette style fall when hit targets that are resettable from the firing point. They can be of typical airgun quarry or anything appropriate to the shooting sports. The zones themselves, the hit zones, will be round in shape and will range from 3/8 of an inch to 2 inches in size. You're not allowed to have any type of fake hit zone on the target. The targets will not be closer than 10 yards nor further than 55 yards from the firing point. In most competitions, the equipment that you can use, you're going to be limited to 22 or 177 caliber air rifles that, based upon the division that you're shooting in or the class that you're shooting in, are 20 foot-pounds of energy or less at the muzzle. When you get into the high-end competitions, you're looking at 12 foot-pounds of energy at the muzzle. You can use any type of ammunition that is lead alloy, zinc, or zinc alloy. You can have scopes in a lot of these, but for instance, on the Hunter class in particular, you are limited to 12 power scope. That's the most magnification that you're allowed to have. You are also not allowed to change your windage or your elevation on the scope once the match begins. Instead, you're able to go ahead, if it's a side parallax or side adjusting, you can get your target in focus and use that for range finding purposes, but you can't sit back and you can't use like a military style scope where, okay, here at this distance I need to go up 3 clicks and then because of the wind speed I need to go left 3 clicks. That part's not allowed. You set your scope once, which is why you start off your competitions basically making sure that nothing's changed with your air rifle driving to the competition. So you have all of the general targets. This is your sight-in range. And each match seems to vary in the amount of time that you're allowed for that when they open it. This is just one section of the course at the 2016 Pyramid Air Cup. We actually are showing two different things here. The small targets up front, that's part of the gunslinger competition. That does not have anything to do with the field target competition. In the back, you can see the lanes and some of the targets. And then when the shooters show up in position with it, it'll make a little bit more sense. But this one section had several lanes on it, laid out pretty much in a straight line, whereas other lanes are definitely more set up into the woods, into more of a hunting type situation. The targets can be at ground level, they can be above ground level. How this is scored is you generally get 4 shots per lane, so 2 targets per lane, 2 shots per target. If you shoot and if you hit the target and knock it over, you get a single point. If you shoot or have a misfire and do not knock the target over, then you get 0. And at the end of the competition, the person that has the most points wins.